Audio Jungle.
I am the Divine Prince, Ty Emmecca, Pan-African Spiritualist, Practitioner, Author, Advisor, Elagoon, Oloye, Hoodoo, Obeya, Bokur. I reside in this beautiful and legendary, historic Treme, New Orleans, Louisiana. So join me as I share food, music, culture, tradition, the rhythms, and the flavor of New Orleans voodoo. Respect the voodoo. Zuke parin lek baye, Zuke parin lek baye, parin lek ba me alak waze washo, Zuke parin lek baye, avule ba. Zuke parin lek baye, azuke, zuke parin lek baye, parin lek ba me alakwa ze washo, zuke parin lek baye. Honor and respect, greetings and salutations on this Lake by Monday. It is another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. We are funded by, supported by, powered by, and promoted by NOIVD, New Orleans International Voodoo Day. We continue to invite you to join us, participate with us, support and donate, become a sponsor to this powerful and historic event. Continue to visit us at www.vodouday.org, www.voodooday.org for more information and continued coming updates about our third annual International New Orleans Voodoo Day. All is truly and indeed a blessing. And now a word and a message from our organization. All is a blessing. Welcome everyone to our second annual National New Orleans Voodoo Day. What is New Orleans voodoo in a world of voodoo? We understand that voodoo originated in West Africa. Our parents, our grandparents birthed voodoo, and that voodoo was carried into the so-called New World by way of the Middle Passage and enslavement. So we now have voodoo in South America, Central America, Haiti, and certainly North America. And I would say voodoo is now worldwide. Our goal and our desire is to show honor and respect to those who came before us and providing a system that allowed for our freedom, that allowed for our liberation, that gave us a way of fighting back and protecting ourselves and moving forward.
It is not by accident that New Orleans is looked to as the home of voodoo in this country. By 1840, we had the largest import of slaves through the Mississippi River in this country. And so we are a combination of many people brought out of Africa.
Au Bénin aujourd'hui, il y a un travail formidable qui se fait autour du Vodou avec le gouvernement qui est en place, avec les différents projets qui sont en cours, tels que la construction d'un musée international du Vodou, la construction ou reconstruction de plusieurs couvents pour pouvoir tracer une route et le formidable projet que nous appelons les Voodoo Days, installé dans la ville qui est dirigée par celui qui est à ma gauche ici, le coordinateur d'Aventure.
Retelling the formidable work of the Vodou with so many projects like the Museum of International Museum of Voodoo, the construction of the Arts of Voodoo, and then all the amazing series of Voodoo Days in Wida, which is led by the mayor here.
To be signing a sister city agreement today with Wida Benin is another history. And it's happening in the city during a moment. This weekend, the New Orleans National Voodoo Days will be celebrating the second edition of New Orleans National Voodoo Day, an event that depicts out from Benin, which is the cradle of voodoo in the world. And to be able to have it here today, with the mayor giving that opportunity for people to get together and give that education that we really need, means a lot.
The city of New Orleans would not be who she is today if it were not for all of our people. But we continue to be the most Afrocentric city in the United States because of the rich culture and history of this great city, and we have a responsibility to preserve it, to grow it, to educate our people so that we have a great opportunity to enter into officially a sister city agreement with Wida Benin. I'm honored.
Madame le maire, mesdames et messieurs, chers frères et sœurs de la Nouvelle-Orléans, sachez que les portes de Wida vous seront toujours ouvertes. Que ce jumelage soit le socle d'une amitié durable, d'un dialogue permanent et d'un développement partagé. Vive Wida, vive la Nouvelle-Orléans, vive la coopération entre les peuples noirs. Je vous remercie.
To your ori, your crop, your show. Be at ease, be at please. Continue to work with us in New Orleans to develop a much more richer and inherent culture from Africa to Haiti to Brazil. Give thanks and honor for your presence today, and we say our share.
Ashe. My goal when creating, hand sewing, hand beading, hand sequencing a suit is to bring voodoo to that demonstration. In the culture here in New Orleans, we like to say pretty in the front, pretty in the back. My suit in particular is a mix of Aboriginal and indigenous medicine symbolism, but I also incorporate Haitian veve and other voodoo symbolism into each year's suit. I am motivated most by two things when I'm creating a suit. Egungun culture in West Africa, Galede culture in West Africa, Galede, G-E, and the acknowledgement of ancestral masquerade from a West African demonstration. And my second motivating factor for masking and continuing to mask is Big Chief Victor Harris.
Before I start sewing or making anything on this suit, I go to my ancestors and my elders. My love for this suit has kept me going for 59 years, consistently making suits like that, 59 years consecutively. I'll speak a short version of a prayer before we leave home on Mardi Gras Day. And the prayer goes something like this. Mare Kudibayo.
I'd like to begin the libation. Odumakoma, Nyakapon, Sagbomari Lisa, Bandi, Jah, Jehovah, Ra, Buddha, Kantanka, Ra, and all the appellations you go by. We are grateful. Give thanks and honor to the Earth Spirit, Nana Sasaya. We give thanks for the trees, the leaves, the berries, the fruit, the fauna, and all the foundations that we're able to build our homes and stand on. We are grateful.
We give thanks and honor. Ashe, Ashe.
So I'm very grateful that in 1995, in September, Dogbo Hanu came to New Orleans, abroad, and he entered into the Buddha Spiritual Temple when it was just in its baby stage. And he touched everything. And also he brought along from Benin of the Shrine of the Python. And already this Python has chosen me, was in the house. So this is in very created honor for we are here today. The soul of Benin, the soul of our great founders of the idea of Voodooism. And how we cultivate that science will tell how all that will and our young youth will expand that rhythm throughout the periods of time as we go forward into our state of ancestrism. So Miss Aida came out to greet you today.
for the freedom that we enjoy. If we are free today, it's thanks to our ancestors directly from Africa. I don't care who you are, where you come from, we are the children of Africa. Okay?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
AYIBOBO, and we certainly are grateful and wanting to thank and show gratitude and acknowledgement to those who traveled from Central America to be a part of our event, from Haiti, from South America, and certainly from Benin, our delegation and West African delegation that traveled quite a distance to be here and present for our second annual, at that time, National New Orleans Voodoo Day. And we are certainly looking forward to and gearing up for our third annual, now International New Orleans Voodoo Day. And I want to open the mics and bring in my co-host. I want to first acknowledge my wild man and my right hand and my first priest, Joshua Nylan Tanner. I also want to acknowledge the beloved Elder Reggie Green Soap on this platform, important team member, elder, financial advisor, and spiritual practitioner, a part of NOIVD. That's our team. And my sister wife and best friend and partner and cohort in crime, Sister Toni Val Martinez. Greetings and salutations to each and every one of you. Come on in.
Greetings. That was a very beautiful video we saw just now. It spanned all the days of the event, and I'm sorry I missed the third day due to inclement weather. How you? Hello to everybody out there. Hey, Elder Reggie, how are you?
Peace and blessings, everyone. Of course, Divine. Always give Divine his credit because he be on so point. Sister Toni, I kind of heard you last Friday. Well, I was traveling back home, but you guys held it down and did a real nice show. And Brother Josh, I seen you in that video, Josh. Man, we really appreciate the work you're doing with us also. But what I like to say for myself is I'm a little emotional right now because being a torch, I would say a torch bearer for New Orleans and New Orleans voodoo, to try to have it with a footing, a foundation for so long, and to see that being manifest as we continue to build with the International Voodoo Day, it does my soul, my ancestors, so much good to see that we are building a foundation with an outline and not just grabbing A, B, C, and D and throwing it out there as voodoo. So I'm a little emotional right now, but I'm here.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, that was a great video. That's the first time I seen it, and hope everyone is doing a great time. And yeah, Elder Reggie, yeah, to be a part of something, to bring light to something that's been held in the dark. I mean, the ancestors are definitely, behind us and supporting us, but they definitely are happy, and it's a thing to see, and it's a thing to be a part of, a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the third annual is going to be even bigger than that.
Yes, it will be. Yes, right about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
I
indeed.
definitely don't want to miss it.
Yeah. We're in the process
I would
now.
like to read. Yeah, good. I would like to read a passage right quick for our collective audience, those in the chat who we appreciate and adore. I know you've seen Mother Miriam. She is called Mother Miriam, one of our elder voodoo priestess in the community, and she had the python snake on her head. But I just want to give you guys a little background around that right quick. It won't take long. While there were significant numbers of slaves taken from Western and Central Africa, Congo, Cameroon, Gabon, Ivory Coast, the origins of voodoo to a large degree can be traced back to Dahomey, today Benin. People who were originally transported from the village of Arata took their gods with them as they crossed the Atlantic. They were called Rata gods. What began as a reminiscent religious practice enabled slaves to maintain their African identity, soon transformed into a unifying religious practice, binding African slaves together in the New World. As noted above, voodoo originated in the Dahomey region, which is modern day Benin. The largest people group in this region is the Yoruba people, and much of modern voodoo finds its roots in the Yoruba religious tradition. Both the Yoruba religious tradition and the Caribbean / New Orleans voodoo believes in fetishes. Animistic religions around the world have made the use of fetishes for thousands of years. Often a fetish is an amulet, talisman, or stone, something believed to have magical or spiritual properties that can bring about blessings or curse upon an individual. In New Orleans, the snake, the python snake, is the fetish that we usher in New Orleans, just like the rest of the Caribbean and Benin, as our fetish for voodoo. I just wanted to give that to give our collective audience a little background. Thank you.
Very, very good. And they use the snake also in Santeria, correct? I know I think
Yes,
it's in Cuba. He's Dambala.
yes, same, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah, he's Dumbala in Haiti and in many regions, as well as Aida, Vodou.
Yes.
But you see the symbolism and the usage of the snake in the Pan African diasporic
Yeah.
demonstration of voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
We used to say Le Grand Zombie here in New Orleans, a particular unique loa to New Orleans as it relates to voodoo practice.
Yes. Yeah, and that becomes important because to work through a fetish, it works as a middle person between the spirit world and this world. Even though you're looking at a snake with the physical eye, but there's spiritual properties that's that's attuned and that's available for those who understand. That's why I like to speak to the collective audience, because if you get to come to New Orleans and you get with a priest, you have to learn some of these things to truly understand what is going on before your very eyes. And that becomes a way of knowing voodoo, let's say from hoodoo and some of the other things that are out there.
That's very interesting. I hadn't really paid too much attention to the snake. as it is a part of voodoo rituals. I thought it was just like there for a fake eye candy, like, the symbol. I didn't understand that part of it, Elder Reggie.
Yeah, it
Yes.
certainly traveled and survived the Middle Passage as a part of, original practice, if you will. But I also want to note that she mentioned that Dagbo Honan the first came from Benin to New Orleans, I believe 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, and gifted her the spirit, the knowledge, the mystery of Don, Dan, Don, as Dumbledore is sort of referenced in Benin. And then his son, Dagbo Honan II, came back roughly 5 years ago here in Congo Square. And through his assistant, our Universal, I believe she's Universal Mamiwata practitioner from America to Benin, Doughty, who was also functioning as his translator when he proclaimed that I would be leader and king of New Orleans voodoo. So I thought that was also, a continuation of a connection that we've had in New Orleans with Benin, really since the first ship of our enslaved ancestors arrived here to this ground. Again, solidifying our being an original branch of voodoo, as opposed to somehow a depository of Haitian voodoo specifically.
Yeah, what I would like to add to what Divine just brought forward, I had the pleasure of being in Benin a few months ago, right before our event took place. And they have the Temple of Pythons there. And there's well over 100 pythons just move about freely in the Temple of Python. And they give the backspiel on why the python was so important to the Benin, the people in Benin, especially in the Ouida region. And so I'm almost certain when I can't say his name, Brother Divine. Say his name one more time. Divine. Say the guy's name.
The whole guy that came from Benin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
I can't remember his name.
Dagbo Honan II.
Yeah, Dagbo Honan II. Yeah.
Princess Miriam was referencing his father, Dagbo Honan I.
Yeah, what I wanted to say in experiencing the Voodoo Day there, he is a big key figure. Everywhere he go, he draws a crowd, and they look for Dagbon to appear and to give blessings to certain shrines and offerings. And it was a sight to see. So for him to come to New Orleans and to pass a torch to Divine, this is big. This is big. This is big medicine. And we've seen so much being manifested as if prayers are being answered. The hard work is beginning to pay off, not for show, but for dedication. And sometimes the spirit will reward dedication.
AYIBOBO.
AYIBOBO. Yes. Well, I definitely can't wait till the third annual International Voodoo Day come around.
Yes.
It will be bigger and better than it was last year. And
yes.
And it being international now, from national to international, is going to include more cultural
identity.
We'll have more influences from all over the world. So it's going to be something to see, something to be a part of, something to witness, and it's all going to be done with love and honor.
Always, always. Well, it's time for us to come to an end. I'm going to turn it over to Elder Reggie to close us out with the information on that International Voodoo Day.
Yes,
Elder
give thanks,
Reggie.
give thanks, Sister Toni. I always give honor and thanks to Divine, also to Brother Joshua and you, Sister Toni, because as a team, it's collective work and responsibility that's moving forward. The International New Orleans Voodoo Day, our tentative date hasn't been nailed down yet, but it will be the third annual in 2026. But what I would like to see, if anyone's a local, next one in July, we're having a marker reveal, and you'll get to see some of our team members on stage giving backdrop to this marker that's being revealed. And that's going to be the day you could come out and see some of the other works that we are doing as we move toward 2026 International Voodoo Day. With that, I say, keep us in your prayer. Keep yourself in prayer. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh.
AYIBOBO.
I say, everyone, good night. Have a good night, everyone.
Mm-hmm.